Hi, everyone, and welcome to Orientation Day 2. I'm your host, Lauren Brake, and today's jam-packed schedule includes a session from Skills Canada, a chat with some of our employees, and finishes up with trivia tonight. I hope by now you've taken some time, you're getting familiar with everything, and maybe you've even liked us on Instagram. Follow us at CNA News. So, up first, we have my conversation with the trades and technology staff here at College of the North Atlantic. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our Tech and Trades conversation today. I have with me Josh, Ashley, and Greg, who are all employees of College of the North Atlantic. I'm going to get each of you to do a little introduction. Tell us who you are, where you work, what your job is, and how long you've been with college.
I can jump in there, I guess. Lauren, I've been with the college since 2011. My background is I'm a heavy duty equipment technician and a truck transport mechanic, dual red seal. My position right now is I'm instructional coordinator at the Bay St. George campus over the industrial trade side. But before the last 2 years, I've taken on that role. Before that, I was an instructor in the apprenticeship programs.
Hi, my name is Josh Taylor. I'm an instructor with the software development program. I've been with the college for 7 years. Before I was with the college, I had a long private sector experience, and I'm very excited now to bring that into the new program.
Hi guys, I'm Ashley Nguyen. I am an instructional assistant in the Industrial Engineering Technology program, but I work in the Office of Applied Research and Innovation. I've been at the college a little over a year and a half, but before working at the college, I graduated from the Tourism and Hospitality Management program as well as the Industrial Engineering Technology program. So I'm a two-time CNA graduate.
Awesome. Love it. Love to see it. We are going to dive right into some questions now. The first question I have today is, how did you embrace the digital world, and how do you think your students can embrace the digital world? Ashley, do you want to get started on this? I know you had a kind of different, interesting experience this time around.
Yeah, so this summer was really interesting for us for sure. So we actually did 13 virtual work terms with students in the Office of Applied Research. So each of our students all worked from home, supervised by the Office of Applied Research team, and they were all partnered with a local industry partner as well. So they all actually did projects for a local company, all completely remote. And at first, it was definitely a learning experience for all of us. But as you say, we embraced the technology and used the tools that we had at home. And ultimately, everything turned out to be pretty successful.
That's awesome.
For myself, I think embracing the change technology was a bit of fun at first. I'm going to be honest with you. When we broke out of the mold, we broke the structure. We broke the Monday to Friday, the 8 to 4. I had a lot of fun with my two boys, where I was working from home with them. So there was a bit more necessary life balance had to happen because I had to give them attention too during those 8 hours. Which broke me out of the sitting here focused, working for 8 hours straight consecutively. It struck a bit of a life balance there. Don't get me wrong, that came with a lot of challenges. And I was very fortunate to work with a lot of instructors, administration, management who were very sympathetic, empathetic to the situation I was in and the flexible schedules, and the technology allowed that. And using new forms of sharing documents through Teams and embracing that environment where we were much more efficient and could work on things much more effectively, and that we're keeping that with us as we move back into the structured environment, and it's making the workplace so much smoother. If we could do it through that much distance with each other, now that we can be in the same work environment, everything just seems to run much more efficient.
Yeah, and for software development, we've seen kind of this approach to working for a long period of time. We've always been on the cutting edge of using technology, and some of these remote learning tools we were already using, but it's amazed me the pace at which it's being adapted by organizations. So what we're seeing a change with how we're delivering programs at the college, even programs that are very hands-on, we're seeing technology being integrated at very important stages, and this is here to stay. And being able to adapt to this and use it as a strength, it can really provide an opportunity for professional growth.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And I think, in a lot of ways, there's some, people and programs that were really pulled into like the 21st century with this and like forced to change. And then, like you said, there's some programs who all along have been using a lot of this technology and really have been at the forefront. But no, and I think it's really cool too about like work terms changing kind of to adapt to this new world we're living in. The next question is kind of how has this pandemic shaped your work going forward? Because, it does change how we work day to day, and it does change how we're even planning for the fall. I know a lot of us spent a good part of the spring and summer kind of planning to get to this stage. So can you tell me a little bit about that?
Sure. For us on the trades end, Lauren, it's we've blown up where we were completely. We've had to, we were very much traditionally have been the brick and mortar. It happens in here, and this is how we have to teach it. And then suddenly that stopped. And when that did, we had to reinvent how we did things. How could you effectively involve people in visual learning, experiential learning, even though it's not a practical, we want to demonstrate things. And I'll be honest, we've seen a response from our partners, our suppliers, in online resources that we use, subscriptions we pay for that were traditionally, nope, you can only access this through a CNA server. And these other partners and parties jumped right on board with us, and it opened up to students at home. They could click the links and access it. Very proprietary stuff, but they all jumped on with us through the change, which I know was a big hurdle for them as a business, but they did it, and it helped us tremendously. We had publishers jump on board with us. So we've jumped out of that box. We had to jump out of that box pretty quick, and I can only see the positive changes now that have come from it. And as we transition back to on campus, we're taking that openness and that flexibility that has come with our quick development in the spring, and with our partners' new agreements, that we hope that this will enhance learning and continue to make it more flexible and open as it was back then, even though we've transitioned to back to on campus partially.
Yeah, that's
I
really
think
cool.
I think for us, one of the biggest things that's changed in particular was the lack of being able to travel and do site visits and actually go and, meet with our industry partners and, go meet our colleagues on the West Coast. But, the technology really enabled us to be able to keep those connections, with the campuses that are all across the province and, the folks up in Labrador. We still felt just as connected, as probably even more connected than we were before, because everybody was using the technology to be able to communicate. And, a number of the students that we had this summer were working in St. John's, but their industry partner was in Corner Brook, or even as far as St. Anthony. We had students that were located in remote parts of the province doing work for companies that were here in St. John's. And so just to be able to see that type of, um, you know, collaboration without being physically close together, I think, that's probably the biggest change that I've seen with all of
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, even in software, we found the same thing. While it's all computer driven, the lab experience is very important. But with virtual classroom through D2L and Microsoft Teams, we've been able to feel like we're in a lab and work together, and it's really helped our students and helped our instructors really bridge that gap.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I mean, really, like going to a pandemic obviously is very new for all of us. And it really does turn kind of our work like on its head and to be like stepping outside the physical boundaries of a classroom or a shop space or a lab or, even I know, Greg, like in your field work, like, it is something new to experience. And I think a lot of times we do get stuck in that it has to be this way. It's always been this way. And then, it kind of hits you and you're like, okay, but if it can't be this way, how can it be? How do we make it
And
work?
and there was a lot of that. There were, we've always taught it this way. For 9 years I've taught it this way. How do you expect me to do it now? And
Yeah.
those
And it's
questions,
scary.
it is, and those questions started bouncing off colleagues though, and colleagues were like, well, what about if we tried? And it's even our academic related faculty played a critical role in help getting some of our core trades faculty up to speed on the technologies that exist. And core trades instructors would bring dilemmas from their shop experience, which they would normally bring students in to demonstrate stuff. And the academic related instructors would say, there is a tool that I think might help you with this. And it
Yeah.
became, for the student success, it became a big team driven goal to do it to the best of our ability and find the right technology. A lot of
Well, I know.
champions. We found a
Well,
lot of
that's the
champions through
thing.
this.
You kind of get
Yeah.
those champions in your workplace who are willing to pick up the kind of extra load. Because I know even in our building, we have a lot of the instructors who've done a lot of the work around online apprenticeship programming. And a lot of that development over the last 2 years. So they were some of our only trades instructors who had a lot of experience with D2L, with planning a course online. And they stepped right up to that and was like, kind of like, let me bring you with me and I'll show you kind of the tips and tricks. And I know a lot of our instructors and staff have taken time to do the extra coursework themselves around designing online courses and learning how to use Teams effectively. Because there is a lot of really cool technology out there that
Yeah.
can help and make things a lot easier.
Yeah, and Lauren, I'll be honest too. I see it happening even this week just through the orientation sessions that are happening. Some faculty are doing it through Microsoft Teams, and we're still learning as we're going. So I want to make sure the students feel completely comfortable that it's okay to ask what feels like a ridiculous question because we're asking them too. Some of us are asking them in
And
the
that's
middle
the
of a
truth.
class.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Some of us are asking in the middle of the class, like, does anybody know right now how I could share this or how I can? And we were assisting students yesterday here in the foyer with getting Microsoft Teams working and
Yeah.
making sure they could sign in, just having issues with their own. So we're all in the same boat and we're all rowing in the same direction. Yeah.
That's the thing. I think we are all trying to kind of figure it out. And you know what? There's going to be mistakes. I was on a meeting last week where someone ended up sharing their Facebook page during the meeting, accidentally had shared their screen, and they were in a group chat complaining about the meeting. I was like, "Ooh." Like, that's rough.
That's
It's going to happen. There's kind of fun. There's things to laugh at and everything.
yeah.
But my last question is, do you have any advice for students this year? We all know it's very different, but in a lot of ways, you know what? These are still new students starting in a very traditional sense. The new school year is frightening. It's overwhelming. It's also very exciting. So, do you have any kind of tips for success?
I definitely have a lot coming from a software development background. We've kind of been at the cusp of this. We've been building apps and using cloud-based systems for years. I've literally spent my whole career working on a computer. So optimizing how you work on a computer has been something that I've really put a lot of thought into. And programmers have been working at for many years. It's part of their job. The key thing for students, I think, right off is to treat the online courses like real courses. They are real courses and they require attention. It's hard when you're home to put that level of effort in. When you walk into your classroom, you're on, you got your coffee, whatever, and it just, that light bulb comes on. You need to create those moments that make it feel like you're at the college today. You need to manage your time and set up your workspace correctly. So every programmer has their, nerdy few things around and they have their computer set up a certain way. But anyone who's doing any level of virtual learning this year, set yourself up as best as you can. Make sure you have a comfortable setting, you have a place to work. Don't be afraid to have a pen and paper. I always do. Still take notes and make sure that your workspace is laid out so that it's easy for you to get work done. Try and eliminate distractions where you can. Specifically, if you have people in your house, make sure that they know that this is important. And just because you're in the home, you're still attending the school. And I would say it's very important to get a headset and a webcam if you're doing any virtual classrooms or any one-on-one engagement with an instructor, to get those pieces of equipment so that you can properly engage and it allows you to participate. Also, reach out to your fellow students and maybe form a study team. But I would sum all this up into essentially a few little points. Plan out your term, okay, and don't be afraid to improve that plan. So some things might not work. You might find you're challenged working in the evening, or that you get distracted and you need to maybe go to a coffee shop for certain things. Come up with a plan that works for you, and then finally communicate to your instructors. Your instructors want to hear from you. If I have a student who's struggling or finds some aspect of this experience stressful or concerning, I want to help you. So I want to know. I want you to reach out to me and say, hey, Josh, look, how can I do this better? How can I do that better? And let's come up with a plan together.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Those are all some really good points. And even, a lot of those we touched on over the summer with the students that were working from home for the first time, all while I was also working from home for the first time. And, we were all kind of going through it together. And I would always say to the students, like, we are all dealing with our own version of chaos at home. For me, it's cats, for Greg, it's kids, everybody has their own sort of thing that they're dealing with at home. And, communication is key. Just let everybody know where you're at, what your situation is like, and it's easier to communicate than ever now. So don't ever forget to do that.
Yeah, that's a good point. We
And
all have our own version of chaos.
we do. We're all. Yeah. It's hard to say we're all in the same boat sometimes. Hey, when we're all coming from a different place every day when we come to school or work. Um, I guess one of the things for me, Lauren, is something I'd really like to make sure a message gets out there is the trades are not so different this year. That we have, thanks to the government guidelines, we have the ability to take our students onto campus. It's something I'm incredibly grateful for this year, that we can get back to here, that we can come in and do our practicals, that we can share that knowledge, the experience with the students, that they have those opportunities, that we're not where we were in March, where it was suddenly cut off, and we knew that students, it was a struggle for them because it's not what they signed up for. But now with the guidelines we have in place, I've got to admit, the building we're in is not far from where it was last year. We're doing our train out. There's the exception with masks and documentation and screening that happens, and other than that, we're here, we're learning, we're doing, we're working, we're experiencing. So that side of it, I'd really like to get out that, if anyone's apprehensive or concerned about applying, it's it, you shouldn't be. There's going to be a
Yeah.
little bit of a, and I want students to know too. We have experience in this in the last couple of years, even using D2L net in our classrooms just to supplement the in class. We know that students are coming here and they don't have an email address. They don't have a Gmail account or a Hotmail account. So we know where we're starting from with some students, and we're okay with that. We know where that is, and we're going to build up together as a team and create a great environment where people can ask those questions and get that direction. You're signing up, for automotive service technician, but we'll help you create a Gmail account if that's what needs to be done to get you moving too, right? Um, and then the only other thing I'd really like to press upon, and I think it goes back to what Josh said about your plan, is you ask. We're all in individual circumstances. You talk about it all, but I just dropped off my 6-year-old for grade 1 today. So it's kind of an emotional day for me. So
Exciting.
I don't I don't know how emotional it is for some other people today too, as they're starting their own first day of school here with us, right? But there is flexibility, and flexibility has to be had. And I think that's one of the great aspects that technology can provide us right now, is the on-demand side of e-learning. And that supplement with D2L, especially in the trade side, that your documents, your lectures, your videos are posted. You can, go back and visit them at a time that is better for you. And don't hesitate to let your faculty know that this is my situation. This is my life. This is where I am right now. And what can we do to work around this? And I'd like to think that discussions can be had to find solutions as best we can to keep people moving together through this, right? And and I think I go back to Josh again. Josh had so many great tips, but your personal schedule, creating one that works for you and for your family and for your environment that you're in. So be realistic, and like you said, Josh, go back and revisit that plan again if it's not working, and let's find one that works and is successful for you.
Yeah. Those are all some really good tips. And like I think, you all kind of mentioned, we are each kind of in our own circumstances, but I think it's really important for students to realize is there is someone else on the other side of the computer who is going to understand that, what, maybe you do have to go get your kids at lunchtime, or maybe, you're having to drop your kids off and pick them up at the beginning of every day because they didn't get picked for the bus schedule, or or maybe you're like me and Ashley and we have pets at home that we have to go feed, or like to interrupt and exit out of our video calls halfway through. I think realizing that we're all here and we're all patient. And I think most of us are, I know I am, and you all are, we are here to ensure student success. That's kind of the business we're in. So, I really appreciate you guys all joining me today for this. Ashley, Greg, Josh, I know this is some really busy time and it's hard to kind of squeeze in half an hour, but thank you. And for everyone who tuned in to watch this, I hope you got some good information, and stay tuned for the next segment. Thanks.
Thanks.
Thanks,
you.
Lauren.
What an awesome conversation with those instructors. They had so many useful tips and tricks and things to keep in mind going forward this year. Up next, we have a presentation from Skills Canada.
Hi everyone, my name is Jess Rice, and I'm the Diversity Project Coordinator with Skills Canada, Newfoundland and Labrador. Today I would like to take a few short minutes to introduce you to SCNL and how you as a post-secondary student or apprentice could get involved with our programming. Skills Canada, Newfoundland and Labrador is a nonprofit organization that promotes education in skilled trades and technologies to youth across our province through various programming, including competitions. To give you an overview of what our organization does and how we do it, I will walk you through our mission, goals, and initiatives. First off, our mission. Skills Canada, Newfoundland and Labrador encourages youth to explore the opportunities in skilled trades and technologies careers by offering an immersive approach to learning. And our goals are to raise awareness of skilled trades and technologies by bringing youth into a competitive spotlight and to improve competencies, self-esteem, and the achievement level of individuals pursuing careers in skilled trades or technologies. And lastly, why we do this is in our initiatives, which is to educate and encourage young Canadians to develop the skills that address labor shortages and support Canada's economic well-being. Our programs that we currently offer include 4 different types. Skilled Futures events, where students try a trade in specific fields and speak with mentors or guests. Please note that this year we will be offering Skilled Futures virtually through our website. Career or Valley Career Explorations, which involve visiting students to spread the word on the skills movement through presentations very similar to the one I'm giving you today, as well as interactive activities. Please note this year we will also be offering these virtually. Entrepreneur Program, which provides entrepreneurial education for students, apprentices, and educators who are looking to transform their expert knowledge into successful employment. And our Skills Canada competitions, where trade, technology, and employability competitions are offered for intermediate, secondary, post-secondary students or apprentices. I'd like to describe our entrepreneur program a little further. Apprentices who participate in our apprenticeship conferences get to participate in a session that teach them the fundamentals of opening up a business, and they also get the opportunity to take in a mentoring session with local entrepreneurs who own a business in their field of study. Dragon's Layers are also fun simulations where students get to pick a random object and a skilled trade or technology and then create a one-page business plan to present to the dragons, who are in some situations a panel of local entrepreneurs or business expertise. And the Lunch and Learn seminars are sessions for school administrators to encourage them to explore skilled careers with their students as a means of becoming a self-employed professional. Skills Canada, Newfoundland and Labrador's provincial competitions offers opportunities for post-secondary students to compete against other students across the province in trade or technology field. There are 4 different types of competitions, as you can see here. Our intermediates are for junior high school students. Provincials are for high school students and post-secondary students, as well as apprentices, and nationals. And in some cases, the gold medalists will be asked to join Team Newfoundland and Labrador to compete against students across the country at the Skills Canada National Competition. Competitions are a great way to challenge yourself and to learn new skills in your chosen trade or technology field. Although SCNL's programming and competitions may look differently this year due to COVID-19 and it affects our environment, we still encourage youth to reach out and get involved with us. And a fun fact, Skills Canada competitions have a chance to win tuition for College of the North Atlantic. So College of the North Atlantic is proud to introduce an awards program for secondary students competing at both the provincial and national level of Skills Canada competitions. This program provides entrance awards for students in Newfoundland and Labrador school system who plan to enroll at any college North Atlantic campus. Then here's a quote from an SCNL alumni. After competing with SCNL for 4 years, I had earned enough tuition money that I could cover my whole program. Having that money took a burden off my shoulders and allowed me to focus on my studies. Thank you so much for tuning into this presentation. We would love for you to connect with us at SCNL and learn about the opportunities available for you and our programming. You can check out our website, find us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, and we will be hosting contests throughout the year. Please be sure to check us out more for information on those chances to win prizes through our organization.
Thanks, Skills Canada, for that great presentation. Up next, we have the Office to Advanced Women Apprentices. This is going to be an awesome presentation, all about what the kind of work they do. Check it out.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Mary Ford. I'm the Industry Outreach Manager for the Office to Advanced Women Apprentices. This morning, I'm joined by my Executive Director. So Karen, if you want to introduce yourself.
Karen Walsh with the Office to Advanced Women Apprentices.
So we're just jumping on doing a little recording this morning to share with you so that you guys know our services and that we're available for support for you guys when you are finished your pre-employment program in the trades. I'll just start really quickly and then Karen can jump in. So who we are the Office to Advanced Women Apprentices. We are a support and advocacy office here in St. John's, Newfoundland. We do service all of Newfoundland and Labrador. And again, we are a support office for women in the skilled trades. Our mandate is to increase employment opportunities for women in skilled trades, and we do that in a number of ways. Want to switch the slides, Karen?
Okay.
You want to jump in?
So this model for our office, as Mary said, we work with all tradeswomen or women who are currently in trades colleges taking trades training programs, and we work to provide support while you're going through your college program, and then when you are ready to graduate and move on for employment, we work to connect you, the apprentice, with employers for employment, but also to address any barriers you may face in something that you may need to get hired for a position, issues you may have on the job site, issues you may have with apprenticeship, understanding your logbook, all of those types of things. And our office has been in existence for 11 years, and what myself and Mary have learned is that apprenticeship is a big deal, and it's a 4-year process. And most apprentices are really halfway through their second year before they understand how apprenticeship really works. The logbook, with recording your hours, with recording your tasks and all of those types of things. So we are here as a support for all of that as you move forward. Go ahead, Mary.
Yes. So when it comes to our partners, you know, we do, like Karen said, work with a large body, both in government, in not-for-profit and community organizations, and with employers. So just to take a look at this matrix that we have done here, you know, we're starting with our post-secondary institutions, which is where you're to now, letting you know that we are available and we do work for you. The thing to keep in mind with our organization is that we give you an opportunity to be part of an organization, to be supporting women in trades. And because we are underrepresented, we do need to have each other's back and carry each other. So it's important to be part of that organization and making a change. And of course, you know, mentoring others and paving that way for other people, other females coming behind you. So coming into the schools at this point in time, let you know that we're here. So we will go in further to the services just a little bit later on, but keep in mind this is a free service to you guys. So if you have an opportunity to be part of an organization that's going to give you support, give you the opportunity to be part of Women in Trades, to give you the availability of you know, having that, someone having your back, whether it's for the union, the apprentice, whether it's a barrier, whether it's someone to give you direction, whatever the case may be. Sometimes it might be just somebody to come in and have a chat with because you have an issue you need to get off your chest. And it's free to you, it's of no charge. Why wouldn't you, right? As Karen mentioned, apprenticeship is a big deal and it is a lot. So we're here to guide you. You will get some courses. I think it's probably towards the last of your schooling. But you know, everything's coming at you at this point in time. So you're kind of in the classroom, just kind of, you know, trying to not let it hit you in the head. Don't get hung up on it. If you got questions about that after, we're here to help you. We got an open door. Come in. If we can't help you or we don't have the answers, because we certainly don't pretend to be experts in everything, we can find it out. And that's the main thing. We have the people to be able to go to. Same thing with the government. Any issues with on that next level, advisories, committees. One of our staff members is Indigenous, so we are very active in that community as well. Building trade unions, again, we have a good relationships with unions so that they know the importance of the diversity and the inclusion lens, and that we have contacts. So if you have an issue with the union, if you have questions with the union, if you're trying to get into the union, whatever, we have contacts. And again, we can have that networking piece for you because we have those relationships. Jumping right up to the employers and contacts, outreach is one of our main points. And we work with other women organizations as well to make sure that you guys have all the development programming and the information that you need to be successful. Anything to add, Karen?
No, I think that's good for there, Mary. Thank you. So as Mary explained in our overview, we addressed the barriers to women getting into the trades and advancing. So our main goal in working with you as an apprentice and in working with the apprenticeship agency for our government is to assist women to advance through their apprenticeship. Our office was created 11 years ago by the government because women were taking trades training programs. And they were either not getting employment whatsoever, because if there was 20 welders in the class and 3 of them were female and 17 of them were men, those 17 guys were well underway to apprenticeship and the women were still looking. So our office was created as a support to link you to the employer, but to help you stay in apprenticeship. And when surveys were done about why women were dropping out of apprenticeship, it's because they had no support system. So like Mary said, this is a support system for women in trades. And also, we need your feedback so that we can work with government, we can work with the unions and contractors to make those changes for a more inclusive workforce. And we've been successful in doing that through the years, but there's still a lot more work to be done. So we have a registry database, and Mary will direct you after on where to go to register with that. But basically what it does for us is it tracks all tradeswomen in the province of Newfoundland and Labrador for us, what your trade is, what level of apprenticeship you're in, how you're moving forward in your apprenticeship. If you have things like barriers to travel throughout the province, you can only work in your own region of the province, then when we're helping you with employment, we will ensure that we're only searching for that region of the province. So that gives us a great snapshot overview on how we can assist you and provide all the wraparound supports for employment supports, networking opportunities. We do lots of great networking opportunities with tradeswomen throughout our province for just fun evenings, trades conferences, information sharing sessions to really get the tradeswomen together and connecting with each other. And our supporting mentoring is our wraparound services. So within our office, we also have a mentorship program for women who are advancing through the trades, have worked in the trades 3, 5, 10, 15 years, and they connect with new women like you that are now in your trades portion of it, and to women who are interested in going into trades. Or also, if we have a new woman going to a job site and we notice there's another woman probably on that site, we'll connect that woman to, it's just to be a support for the new woman going to the site. Mary?
Yeah, so and on saying that one, again, being part of the organization as itself gives you the knowledge to do that, and it recognizes it. And just to give you a brief example, when Bolarm was in full swing, one of our mentors that was involved with our office, if she seen a new female come in on site, she would follow them into the bathroom to just say, hey, I'm such and such, just to let you know, I'm here on site too. If you have any questions, concerns, feel free to, come and hunt me down and I'll help you as much as I can. So sometimes it's just a platform of getting this informal mentorship and identifying who's in your corner, which is really important. Some of the other things that we're doing is we do provide journey person preparation workshops. We're currently working with a partnership with another not-for-profit organization right now, where we are prepping several. I think we're doing 7 of our fourth-year apprentices right now that's prepping to write their Red Seal exam. So we do this in a couple of ways. Right now we're doing a program where they did a online Zoom journey person workshop. It consisted of 2 couple-of-hour sessions where they had the opportunity to learn some tricks in writing the exams, control their anxiety. It wasn't trade specific, it was more psychological and habits. And then that's going to be followed up with some group tutoring, which is going to be more course specific. So in the past, we've had some very great successes with other journey person preps, and we'll continue to develop that and see what works and do as necessary in this crazy times. We all love person to person, but right now this is working a little bit. Again, we're providing advisory service and diversity awareness training for employers. Again, this is a lot of reach out and making sure that they have that diversity inclusion lens, as well as assisting them with any employment plans that they have for government. A lot of times when a contractor is going through government for approval or on bids and proposals, they need to have a women's employment plan in there, and we're able to assist with them in terms of, you know, how many people by trade are in a certain geographic area of the province and that kind of stuff. So that's been very good on building up relationships on those employers as well. Again, engage and build partnerships, as I just said, with key stakeholders, including the employers, unions, training providers. Again, all of this is to ensure your success for women entering the trades. And of course, we provide ongoing support to the tradeswomen to help, you know, get you towards being a superstar, whether that's shop stewards, union executives, starting your own position. You know, maybe you want a dual, maybe you want to go step ahead of where you're to. Once you get your Red Seal, maybe you want to go into, you know, another area within your trade, but again, making you a superstar. So we're there to kind of direct you on that, find the ongoing supports, do whatever we can to make you successful.
Thanks, Mary. So we do this, and for the sake of time, because we know this is a video for you, we'll keep it short. So really, this is an overview that I'm going to zoom in here now to the actual services we provide to you as a trade student and as a tradeswoman as you finish your program. So we connect with you as a tradeswoman, and we'll do that by you reaching out to us and registering on our website. Once you go to our website, you can click a registration button, complete a registration form. All the information goes directly to Mary, and from that, Mary or one of our staff will work and do an intake for you, look at your course of training, ask you all kinds of questions on how you want your career in the trades to roll out. And then we'll do an individualized plan for you. What type of work are we looking for you? A union site, a small company, maybe small mom and pop shop. What area of the province? Do you need safety courses? All of those types of things. And we provide with interview prep if you're going for an interview, resume support to make your resume stand out so that the employer will be very interested in reviewing it and hopefully calling you for an interview. We connect with tutoring, upgrading if need be. Mary talked about the mentorship, our networking, and then our employment referral. So after we do the intake and individual plan for you, we then see what employers are out there in your trade that we can reach out and help you find that employer. So we reach out, we do some search for the employer, and we find out also what the employer recruitment needs are. What level of apprenticeship are they looking for? Are they looking for a new apprentice that's just coming out of school? Are they looking for someone who has already some welding tickets that is a welding course? Just see what the employer needs are. And then we make that match, identify the tradeswoman for the employer by sending resumes on your behalf for the employer to review. And then we leave it in the employer's hands to reach out to you. And the process moves from there. So then we provide ongoing retention and support to the tradeswoman and the employer once you get that job, right on through through to your apprenticeship and on to advancing to your Red Seal. And that's the partnership that Mary talked about, all those different agencies and avenues through the colleges and the government. We work with all of that to help you advance and make those partnerships. In 2011, the number of tradeswomen in the province of Newfoundland and Labrador is 3%. And from the work of our office over the past 10 years, it has advanced between 13 and 14%, a bit stagnant now due to the slow economy. But our office has been looked at as a national best practice, and this model has been replicated in 5 other provinces across Canada. So it absolutely does work. But in order for it to work, you have to reach out. You have to register, let us know that you need our support, or that you just want to connect with our office to be maybe a mentor as you move forward, or to be a part of a tradeswomen organization. So not going to go through this in great detail, but as you can see, we currently have over 2,000 tradeswomen in our database from Newfoundland and Labrador, and we've assisted with over 1,400 employment opportunities. And we have, close going on 200 have already reached a Red Seal. So there's lots of avenues and areas that we've already accomplished so much, and some of these have been in the details that Mary identified there for you. Mary?
Yeah, so this is a picture of one of our Journey Person celebrations a couple of years ago. Every year we try to do a recognition for those that have obtained their Red Seal, because we think it's a really big deal, and they don't get their own convocation, but they work probably twice as hard. So we want to recognize that. So on an annual basis, we try to do that. This was our first one, and as you can see by the number of people in this this photo, it was very successful.
Yeah. So these are the tradeswomen that we've worked with, and that we want to have them help support you as you go through your trades journey. So this one here is an employer networking breakfast. So we reach out to employers. We hold events for employers to ask them, what are you looking for from apprentices? How can we assist you? Is there further training there that you are looking for so that they can be successful on the job site? Go ahead.
It's very important to maintain those relationships with the employers, because they're their main source of our outreach. And we know, like, even though we're not an employment placement, however, like as Karen said, in terms of our structure and our model, it is a reach out to try to find the best fit for you. So we will get your resume out to wherever we can and try to find a fit for you for the employer. You're still responsible for your own job search efforts, and we're here to support that. But at the end of the day, we need that connection with the employers to be able to do a good reach out to get you out there.
This picture here, go ahead, Mary.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
So this one here was our 10th anniversary. As Karen said, we're 11 years old now, or almost. Yeah, no, July was our 11th anniversary. And when we first started, it came pretty much as an Excel spreadsheet. And then Karen came on board and got the beautiful database that we now have our, we consider our main tool. So last year in December, we had a 10th anniversary to celebrate. And we also done another Journey Person recognition during that celebration, and had employers, government agencies, and everybody to that particular anniversary celebration, which was awesome. This picture here is a picture of all of the tradeswomen that were in attendance to that. And I think, Karen, we had maybe over 50 or close to 50 in attendance for this particular celebration.
Yeah, so this could be you in 4 years. Once you get through your training program, this could definitely be you, already on your career path and connecting to other tradeswomen. So basically, that's who we are. We connect with tradeswomen employers, gave you the overview for that. We just wanted to reach out to you today because we normally go into the college, meet with all the tradeswomen, give you the opportunity to ask us some questions. But due to COVID and the restrictions, we can't do that. But we encourage you to go to our website. When you do, you will see that there's 6 provinces listed there. Just click on the cog for Newfoundland and Labrador, complete your registration form, and that will direct you to Mary. And Mary will take you from there with the support of our other staff as we move forward. Anything to add, Mary?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, Maine, if you have any questions, we're trying to do this in a little condensed video. We're usually in the school in front of you doing Q&As for about an hour and a half. So please bear with us on that. Thing to keep in mind, a couple of things. We can't help you if you don't register. And you can't register if you don't know about us. So that's the purpose of us being here today. I am going to ask you to go to our website, take a look around. If you don't feel like registering, you have some questions, my contact information is there. Please pick up the phone, give me a call, drop me a line, whatever. Even if you have an employer lined up, you know, I was talking to someone the other day, he was like, oh, that's good, I'm going up and doing a turnaround with my uncle. That's awesome, and we're really, really happy to hear that. But just because you don't need job assistance doesn't mean that you can't register with the office. We are about networking, we are about mentoring, we are about any barriers that you might have, any questions that you may have going through, whether it's government or unions or whatnot. You might have a payroll issue that you want a little bit of guidance on. You know, you might have trouble getting a hold of your program development officer over at government and need our help. Like, just because it's not job search assistance doesn't mean to say that you can't be involved in our organization, because we are about women supporting women and we're here to help you guys. So register anyway. And if you don't need us and it's only a matter of coming to a Christmas party once a year, come to a Christmas party once a year.
Mary had said that our office is located on the Avalon in St. John's. We also have a site office on the West Coast for you women who are taking your training in Corner Brook, Deer Lake, Stephenville area. We have, or even St. Anthony, we have a staff member on the West Coast, and she will be located, hopefully as the colleges open up, and that she will be located in the Stephenville new Center for Trades Excellence, and also servicing going down through St. Anthony, and our entire office works to service the Labrador region as well. So we got your back. Go to our site. You will see all of our names there and reach out in any way, just so make that initial connect so then we can support you as you start your journey. Congratulations, good luck, and enjoy it.
Hope to talk to you all soon.
How great was that presentation? Keeping with our theme, up next, we have the Women in Resource Development here for a quick presentation.
Design your dreams.
Drive change.
In my opinion, the future is female. I agree.
It's important to get the girls into these careers.
Build your future.
Experience the benefits of diversity and inclusion.
Make tomorrow better.
Hello, CNA students. My name is Lisa Rostenberg, and I am the Career and Employment Specialist with Women in Resource Development Corporation for the Avalon region. If you are a female completing a trade or technology program with the college, then I'd love to help you. Whether during your program, as you end your program, or after you graduate, I'm here to assist with your job search, resume, and cover letter preparation for that job search, interviewing, and networking, among many other things to support you as you look for that first job and start your career. So if you'd like to chat about how I can help in the future, please get in touch with me. Our office in the Avalon region is located at 175 Hamlin Road, and you can call me or email me to set up an appointment. I wish you much luck this school year and hope to see you at some point over your career.
Hi everyone! I just want to start out by saying congratulations on starting your educational journey with CNA. My name is Bobby Joe, and I'm a Career and Employment Specialist with Women in Resource Development Corporation, also known as WRDC. My office is located on the west coast of Newfoundland in Stephenville. You will find me at the W.E. Cormack Building, 35 Carolina Avenue. If you're a woman entering into a trades or technology program, please feel free to reach out to me. Some of the services that I can provide to you are employment counseling, labor market research, resume writing, interview techniques, job search. I can also provide you with resources and connections to assist you throughout your whole career path. My contact information is 643-3160 or email bmauger, MAUGER, at wrdc.ca. Also, feel free to check out our Facebook page, Instagram, and our website, wrdc.ca. Have the best year ever.
What an awesome presentation. Up next, I'm going to chat with two of our alumni, Zoe and Kalinda, and ask them any advice they have for you, our incoming students. All right, welcome to our session with our alumni. I'm here with Kalinda and Zoe, who are two alumni from two different campuses. And I would like to just get started with a brief introduction. If Kalinda, you'll kind of introduce yourself, where you're from, what campus you attended, what program you did.
Alrighty. Hi, so I'm Kalinda Chislett. I'm from Portishead up on the Northern Peninsula. I attended the Bay St. George campus in Stephenville for the past 2 years. My first year, I done baking, and I loved the campus so much that I went back a second year and done hairstyling. So my experience with the campus was fabulous, and that's why I decided to go back there a second year. The staff and students were so welcoming and friendly. The college honestly became my second home.
Awesome. And Zoe?
Yeah, so my name is Zoe. I completed the 2-year business administration with a focus in HR in my hometown of Clarenville, Newfoundland. My experience was amazing. I can't recommend it enough to anyone. Basically, I did my first year, kind of laid low for my first year, figured out my courses, figured out what I liked, what I didn't like. That's when I went into my second year and pursued HR, and also then took on a role of vice president with our Enactus team. So it was a super cool experience to kind of add on. I got the fun school aspect, but I also got to do that within school, and we got to travel outside. So we went to Halifax, we went to Toronto, and we even went to London to watch the national competition. So it was super fun, and yeah, I can't recommend it enough to anyone. Awesome teachers, awesome staff, and I made a lot of lifelong friends there as well.
Awesome. I know, Kalinda, you had actually been a residence advisor for us in Stephenville. Can you talk a little bit about that?
So as an RA, we were constantly working with staff and students to plan events and such, not only for students and residents, but everyone, to get everyone involved. And I gotta say, it was a great experience because, well, it helped me interact with students, get to know my students, and then I was on the student council as well. So a lot of my students and residents were on student council, so we were constantly planning something.
That's awesome. I would like to kind of go into, what do you feel like was the biggest impact on your success within the college? So is there something that really stands out to you as to like why you had such a good experience, or maybe someone who helped you along, or something that really like was a game changer for you?
For me personally, the staff at the college really impacted my success. from the instructors to the counselors and everyone in between. They were always there to help with anything and guide you in the right direction if they couldn't help you directly. So they truly had the students' best interests at heart, and they wanted to see you succeed.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's really nice to see that because, you know, even though we're on separate sides of the province and everything, I can say the exact same thing for the Claremont campus. I honestly would not have gotten through the program without the support of the instructors that I had and the support staff, our guidance counselor. They really do have the students' interests, you know, there, and they want you to succeed whether you're a student in school and even after you graduate. They still check in on you and they want to know how you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is awesome to hear. And it's awesome even to hear that like from alumni that like you kind of still feel that support after the fact. Because obviously like it's hard. It's like a weird adjustment for a lot of people. And I know like for me, even dealing with students, a lot of times it's like, how can we figure out best to support those students? And I think, you know, everyone's coming from different backgrounds. Some people are coming right out of high school. Some people are, you know, they take a couple of years off, then they're coming. And we do have even some like parents that are here as well.
Yeah.
And like that's really like hard. Like all those different backgrounds are all hard in their own way.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. But it's awesome to hear that you guys had such a positive experience, especially like with the staff and like with the faculty, and you know, and I think for students to know that, you know, we have a very similar support staff contingent at every single campus. So you are getting like the student development officer, you are getting the guidance counselor, you are getting like some really qualified faculty, regardless of what campus or program you're choosing.
Yep. And I feel like I forgot to mention, but I started my program in 2016 and I graduated in 2018. So the fact that even 2 years later, people are still following up, checking in on me, seeing how I'm doing, like 2 years, like, you know, I'm old news there now. So, but no, we've all still stayed connected and it's really awesome. It's comforting as well.
Yeah. And I mean, you guys are like obviously alumni that we do highlight. We've highlighted Zoe, like you've done kind of this, like our Instagram follow me around at work special, and Clinda was actually in a lot of our like advertisements for like discover your potential with CNA.
Cool.
So between the two of you, you definitely are some of our like star students.
Awesome.
The last thing I really wanted to kind of cover is, do you have any advice you'd give to a new student? Like if this is someone who was in your shoes, if you were talking to yourself when you started your program, kind of what do you wish someone told you?
I'll start this one off.
Alrighty.
Basically, what I would tell a student, you know, just like looking back from the outside now at, you know, like 20-year-old Zoe going to college in 2016, I would definitely tell myself I'm a huge scheduler, but it's so important to really lay everything out. Set goals for yourself. Like look at what you have to do in a semester and just kind of mark it all down, kind of draw out a little path of like how you're going to get there, how you're going to complete it, like how are you going to prepare yourself for it. We all kind of wish that we could have been a bit more prepared for things sometimes. So yeah, if I could have scheduled a little better, followed through, especially in this day and age now with everything being online. Majority of our courses in my second year were completed online because we had a very small enrollment number in HR. We only had 2 of us. So I did get a taste of doing that, like, you know, the online courses, and it takes a lot of dedication and scheduling things out and just following through. You know, you have to come through for yourself. So try to keep, you know, an open means of communication between your instructors and your classmates, just to kind of keep the same classroom environment. And yeah, like if I haven't said enough, like have a decent workspace, appropriate workspace, and schedule.
Yeah, it's a big thing. The appropriate workspace is definitely a big one. You know,
Oh,
I think a lot of us are like, oh, if I'm doing school from home, I can do that from my bed. I can do that from my couch. But you know, there's a lot to be said for like actually getting and setting up and like taking it serious, even if you're not in the building.
Yep, for sure.
Clinda, do you have any kind of final bit of advice for a new student that you think that you wish that someone had told you when you started?
Oh, there's a lot.
Look, I was gonna say, lay it all out there.
I would say to students to participate in any events that you can, because I say most students, just like you, going to college, it would be their first time there. So don't be afraid to say hi, get out, interact, do what you can, enjoy it to the fullest. Yes, college will get overwhelming sometimes, but like you said, when you schedule, do your work, then you got to relax sometimes too.
Exactly.
And
that's really important. Like finding that balance for yourself and everything.
exactly.
Yeah.
It is needed. And then like ask questions about anything, like if you're unsure about or would like to know, don't be afraid to ask. Because like I know I was very timid and shy my first year, but then my second year back, it was great. Because I was like out of that shell then.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And I think that's the thing for a lot of people is like kind of taking that extra step, getting out of your shell, and choosing to get involved, because I think a lot of times it's easy to kind of bury your head right in the books and
It
think
makes a
I have to
world
do
of a
school all the time.
difference.
But
Yep.
and that is really how you're going to make your friends and those connections, like maybe with people who you wouldn't talk to otherwise.
Exactly.
Agreed.
Guys, I do just have one more thing, just so we can kind of like wrap up. Is there any like experience that you did have with the college, like maybe one memory that sticks out in your mind that you reflect on, you're like, this really like was like one of the best moments of my experience, you know? And I know obviously there was lots of stressful moments too, where you guys were probably in the guidance counselor's office, like crying. But is there an experience maybe at the college that you would like to share that you're like, man, I remember this happening and it was awesome? Or, you know, I know Zoe, you kind of touched on some of the stuff with Enactus at the beginning, and Glenda, you kind of talked about like your residence advising, but is there like a moment where you're like, this was wicked?
I think I can't help but touch on that Enactus point again. Enactus for me, it was so much more than just like being on a team within school. It really shaped me and helped me grow in a lot of other ways, in particular, you know, with public speaking. Like I feel like public speaking is something that people just really kind of bite their nails about. They get really nervous and everything, but it really helped me open up, grow as a person. I got to travel. I got to talk to people to like further my career and everything.
Yeah.
And you know, a lot of aspects like that, definitely. But otherwise, just the courses and the teachers and everything were very like, they helped me down that HR path. They were very like applicable to the real world and everything. And just having like those teachers ensure that you knew what you were doing, you understood. You can go knock on their door at any point. You can send them an email. They're there. And I think that just small family close feeling of CNA is something that stands out. And again, why I would definitely tell anyone to sign up for the
I
course.
agree with that for sure.
Yeah, Glenda, do you have anything that you did want to touch base on, like that you like stands out for you that you're like, man, this was it?
So like with me being an RA, I got close with not only the staff but the students as well. And coming back my second year, I knew, because I went to college my first year just out of high school, so you know it was pretty different, I'll call it. So coming back my second year, I understood how those new students felt. So I felt like I could connect with them on more of a personal level. And then I developed some great friendships with my students. And honestly, just the friendships and relationships with the staff and the students that I built is something I'll never forget.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
Look, and we like, obviously we'd love to hear like the positive experiences that you guys have had with College of North Atlantic. And I think, you know, like you said, we are a really big family, and the friendships students make here last a lifetime. And, you know, post-secondary education is such a big step for a lot of people, whether you are coming right out of high school or you're coming out a little few years after high school. It is a really rewarding experience, and, you know, there's something here for everybody. So, ladies, I'd like to thank you for taking this time to have a quick chat with me. I know, obviously, we're all very busy and things are hectic right now, but like I said, I really appreciate it. So that'll be all for the session, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in, and stay tuned for our next session.
Hi, and welcome to Accessibility Services at College of the North Atlantic. This presentation will introduce you to Accessibility Services team and highlight some of the services offered. Whether you are a student with a diagnosed disability and are already registered with Accessibility Services, or if you are wondering if this service is right for you, this presentation should answer some frequently asked questions about the process and services we can offer you. College of the North Atlantic is committed to providing an inclusive learning environment which celebrates and encourages diversity. CNA promotes equal access and opportunities to facilitate success in the educational community and in the community at large. Our philosophy is to presume competence and encourage independence and self-actualization, empowering all students to recognize, celebrate, and productively use their abilities. We have 17 campuses throughout Newfoundland and Labrador, as well as distributed learning. All campuses are covered by accessibility services. Distributed learning students are associated with the campus closest to them. Services offered by accessibility services include testing accommodations, scholarship information, access to a resource room or assistive technology, the laptop loan program, and help accessing digital textbooks. Some of our campuses have resource facilitators. The resource facilitators assist instructors in providing approved accommodations, train students on assistive technology and learning strategies, support students with alternate format materials, and assist instructors with the invigilation of tests and exams. The Accessibility Services Coordinator, or ASC, is responsible for the coordination of accommodations, supports, and services for those students who identify a disability and request accommodations. The coordinator is responsible for meeting with students to discuss their needs, gathering information that will help their transition to college, and communicating the approved accommodations to the instructors, resource facilitator, and others as appropriate. The ASC is the contact point for students as they transition to post-secondary. The coordinator works closely with the resource facilitator and college counselors to provide supports and services through CNA's student services. Typically, a disability can be physical, neurological, psychological, intellectual, or sensory. For example, you may have a diagnosis of a specific learning disability, anxiety disorder, or autism spectrum disorder. You can learn more about disabilities at www.empowernl.ca/about-disability. As the Accessibility Services team, we are here to support students and mitigate issues around disabilities. Universal Design for Learning is an approach to teaching which considers the diversity of all students when designing and delivering instruction. This benefits a broad range of students, including students with disabilities. Instructors identify and eliminate barriers and build flexibility and options into their courses. UDL does not mean lowering academic standards. Some examples include delivery methods. The information is presented in a variety of ways, including lecture, group discussion, hands-on activities, case studies, and online interactions. Learning methods, online PowerPoint notes, outlines in advance, and captioned video. Evaluation, providing flexible opportunities to demonstrate knowledge, including tests, papers, group work, demonstrations, projects, and presentations. At CNA, we are committed to incorporating universal design for learning principles into our programming. Read and Write is a software toolbar that can help you reach your full academic potential by offering support with everyday tasks like reading text out loud, understanding unfamiliar words, researching assignments, and proofing written work. For students with various learning challenges, learning styles and preferences, as well as English language learners, the features in Read and Write can help all students increase motivation and confidence by making learning more accessible, inclusive, and less stressful. All students will have access to Read and Write by using your CNA email address to log in on any device: Windows PC, Macs, Chromebooks, iPad, and Android tablets. It's a great option for students studying in class or on the move. Visit the Accessibility Services webpage on the CNA website for more information and the link to download. All students are held to the same course standards. Accommodations may modify how those standards are demonstrated. Accommodations do not provide an advantage for the student with a disability. They allow a fair academic environment. Accommodations are supports students qualify for to assist them in meeting the objectives of their program. The most common accommodations can include, but are not limited to, quiet testing space, having tests read using software, having tests scribed using software, and extra time to write tests. For students who meet admission requirements, the process for applying for accessibility services is as follows. The student declares they have a disability on their application. The Accessibility Services Coordinator sends a letter and email to the applicant requesting additional documentation. Once that documentation is received, a follow-up interview is arranged to discuss accommodations. When the student begins their studies, the student will meet with the Accessibility Services Coordinator each semester and as needed throughout. The accommodations are approved semesterly, which means at the beginning of every semester, it's important that you contact your Accessibility Services Coordinator to discuss and approve the accommodations for that semester. We rely on students to apply early, to self-identify, to provide their documentation, and to know about their disabilities. When this happens in a timely manner, we are able to discuss funding opportunities, program requirements, and accommodations. We are able to help with the transition process, such as training in assistive technology. To access disability supports, students must provide current documentation of a permanent disability to verify the disability and support the accommodation requests. In general, disability is confirmed by the diagnosing professional. If you did not disclose a disability on your application, it's not too late to get started with registering for accessibility services. Contact the Accessibility Services Coordinator to begin the process. Typically, students have some experience with academic accommodations. The ASC will discuss this experience, what worked well, what didn't. Supports at CNA may be different than what students previously received. For example, we rely on technology as much as possible when appropriate. Where a student may have had a student assistant read their tests to them in high school, we use read and write reading software. This allows us to invigilate multiple exams at a time. It also allows the student to complete their tests with greater independence instead of being reliant on another person. If documentation has not been submitted, then the ASC will advise what type of documentation is needed. Students are encouraged to take responsibility for their own needs. The ASC does not seek out students, but will respond to all requests by them. Applicants or students are required to sign a consent form. This form consists of a checklist citing specific position titles or organizations, family members, etc., that the ASC is permitted to exchange information with. This includes parents, as students are adults. If someone is not listed, the student can make an amendment to the form. Confidentiality is paramount. Students registered with accessibility services are expected to meet the same academic standards set by their program of choice. Assistive technology is a term that includes any piece of equipment that can be used to improve the capability of individuals with disabilities. Effective assistive technology for students is any technology that allows them to compensate for deficits, allowing them to perform at levels closer to their learning potential. Some examples include FM systems, word prediction, recording devices, reading software, and writing software. The selection of appropriate supports is linked to the student's strengths and difficulties. In the case of learning disabilities, this comes from the psychoeducational assessment. Common interventions have been shown to be helpful for many individuals with similar profiles. However, all people are unique, and sometimes certain individuals will not necessarily benefit from the standard supports. Appropriate accommodations are determined as part of a collaborative process between students and the ASC and RF. Program requirements and available resources are also taken into consideration. Text-to-speech software and speech-to-text software are two common types of assistive technology used in the academic setting. At CNA, we generally use read and write reading software and Dragon Naturally Speaking speech-to-text software. The Accessibility Services team is here for you. Contact your Accessibility Services Coordinator for more information. All students registered with Accessibility Services are reminded to check in with their campus ASC within the first 2 weeks of each semester. Visit the Accessibility Services section of the CNA website for further information. You can find us under Services, Student Support. Thank you for viewing this presentation. We hope you found it helpful.
That was a great presentation from our accessibility services coordinators. It's so important, if you haven't already and you think you might need to touch base with your accessibility services coordinator and avail of any services that are available to you. Up next, we have our read and write presentation. Check it out.
As a CNA student, you have access to a software program that can help with your course readings, writing, and studying. This program is called Read and Write. Read and Write is a software toolbar that can help you reach your full academic potential by offering support with everyday tasks like reading out loud, understanding unfamiliar words, researching assignments, and proofing written work. For students with various learning challenges, learning styles and preferences, as well as English language learners, the features in Read and Write can help all students increase motivation and confidence by making learning more accessible, inclusive, and less stressful. Check out the many tools that can support you with your reading speed, attention and comprehension, new vocabulary, research, organization, drafting, editing, and studying. Read and Write's tools can help you become a more successful student in less time. All students will have access to Read and Write by using your CNA email address to log in on any device. You get up to 5 installs. It's a great option for students studying in class or on the move. This is what your Read and Write toolbar will look like. Download Read and Write from the texthelp.com website. Click on the Try Read and Write Today icon and use your College of the North Atlantic email address to log in. For more installation instructions, visit the Accessibility Services webpage on the CNA website.
Wow, what a great day of awesome informational sessions. We had some really good tips and tricks from both alumni and from some instructors, and there was a lot of other really good information in there too. Tonight, we have trivia hosted by me, of course. So if you haven't registered yet, make sure you do, and you can do that by emailing events@cna.nl.ca. We'll see you tonight. Bing, bing.